so exciting to be making another Ghostbusters movie. It's so exciting to be a part of any Ghostbusters movie. It's so cool. And it's really cool to see everybody again and get to work with everyone.
So this Ghostbusters movie is about the Spengler family. It's kind of a continuation of Afterlife. They've since moved to New York City to start a family business of ghostbusting, and they've moved into the firehouse from the original Ghostbusters. Yeah, and they're just trying to kind of make ends meet.
How's it going?
Terrible.
Well, don't worry, man. Just keep practicing. We got your back.
One of my favorite sequences in the movie is the opening. In the opening scene, the Spengler family is chasing a sewer dragon through the streets of New York down by the Brooklyn Bridge. A terrible place to stop traffic. Well, New York is a terrible place to stop traffic. We're tearing through the city, and we're chasing this giant beast who's popping up all these sewer covers. And what I love is the juxtaposition between the chaos that's happening outside and then the sort of mundane family dynamics that are happening inside the car. And I think that's where the comedy of that sequence really lies. But also it introduces, we've got our little remote control trap is back, and then we've added a new element, which is the drone, which I get to pilot, which is really fun for me. It's not your typical mom movie behavior. So for me, it's a lot of fun.
One of the things that I always loved about these movies is that they are a mix of a few different genres, and the situations are scary, and even some of the effects and everything else are kind of scary. But they were always funny, and ultimately, at the end of the day, they were comedic. And so I feel like some of that behavior and around, like hopefully it translates to when we're filming. Plus, we get to work with some of the most legendary comedic actors ever.
What are you doing?
It's a nightmare. The mini pups are from the first film, when kind of all hell broke loose, and Ray smuggled them back from Somerville to New York City, which was definitely not a good idea. And they kind of just are hanging around Ray's bookshop and messing things up and just kind of appearing. And so, Podcast is like really annoyed with them now. He just wants them gone and dealt with.
Well, you can see I'm winning though, right? Yeah, just so everybody knows I'm bad. Ow. Oh.
The original Ghostbusters, they're so cool. I'll never get over how cool it is to be in a Ghostbusters film. It's still so weird. It's so fun getting to put on a proton pack or a flight suit. It's the coolest thing in the world, and getting to work with the original guys is always such a dream, but they're so nice. They're so nice and fun, and getting to see them work together after like all of these years is really magical.
To be on the set and to be creating something new to give to the world and have the world embrace it, it's all of the experience that makes it very, very special.
I love making movies. I don't think there's anything quite like a real big movie on a real screen. And especially when you make a crowd of people laugh in a movie theater. There's nothing like it. It's the best thing in the world when you make, a couple hundred people laugh, or even just a full room of 100 people laugh. It's great. It's great, and that's kind of why people do theater and kind of why people do comedy, that you want to get a response. And if you're trying to scare them, that's fun, we'll scare them, but if you want to make them laugh, and they all laugh, you feel like you're on top of the world. It's a great feeling.
It's true that it's really hilarious and really delightful and funny and scary all at the same time. Those are like my 5 favorite emotions, and I think most people would agree.
So we're going to show you how exciting!
It's like putting on the uniform and going back to training. And I feel great about it, because it hands the torch to a new generation. To continue this and have something that we started with such fun, it's a legacy that began with my great-grandfather's work in spiritualism, and so it feels great to be back in the jumpsuit and doing it. Obviously, I feel privileged that audiences still want to see Ghostbusters.
It's been really surreal working on a Ghostbusters movie, because Ghostbusters is literally my favorite thing in the world that's not like a human being or an animal. It was my first favorite movie. I've seen it so many times. I've seen all the Ghostbusters movies so many times. I've seen the entire animated series. So I'm a massive, massive, massive Ghostbusters fan. And so it's been really surreal. You know, in the beginning I wanted to try and pretend it's not Ghostbusters because you get too nervous, but then you're doing a scene with Ray Stantz and it becomes very hard to ignore that it's Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters meant to me, they actually made a perfect blending of horror and comedy. The scary stuff was genuinely scary, and the comedy was hilarious. And to switch back and forth between those two modes so seamlessly, that's really hard to pull off, and they did it.
With this new Ghostbusters movie, we have so many new characters, new ghosts, new gadgets, and we're in New York City, so we're really, with this new Ghostbusters film, are expanding the Ghostbusters universe in a really exciting way.